Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of McMillan and Morrow. I'm Dr. Sean McMillan. Here's my co-host, Rich Morrow.
What's going on? What's going on?
And we're here for you people. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving us your time, your attention. We're going to give you the world, not the world you actually live in, but the world we find through the various stories that come to us from various places. It's going to be a good, exciting run.
All walks of life. We're starting overseas today, too.
Yes. So how about you get started?
So you ready for the creepiest story that we've had in our 28 episodes?
I don't know if I can take.
I think you can handle this.
I don't know because I'm
think
right.
It's the creepiest one.
Like you tell I'm right at the
edge. You're like, I don't know if I have time for this.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know if my wherewithal, patience can take creepy right now.
You don't even know if you could pretend. We're gonna try. Let's see. I'm not gonna read the headline, okay? So according to the Daily Mail, we're in Poland, by the way, for context. A man was enjoying watching TV with his mother beside him on the couch. Sounds normal, right?
So far.
Well, his mom is dead.
Okay.
And she's been dead for the last 13 years.
Actually, I like this story.
Man, what?
This
out of all the things
got my attention. Ironically, this just got my attention. Okay,
so
I'm on yours now.
The man is from Southwest Poland.
Okay.
And he's facing jail time after mummifying and keeping his mother's corpse at his home. The 76-year-old man's estranged brother-in-law found the mummified corpse lying on the couch when he visited his home, and he called the pair.
Wait. Who found the corpse?
His brother.
His brother.
Brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
And how long? Wait. How long was the? I'll tell you, this has all my attention. How long? Because I love a good murder. I do.
Yeah. That's
my thing.
Yeah.
Like if I'm at home.
Yeah, you watching that?
I'm watching. If it's a serial killer, I'm watching it. So this. Back to the story. How long was the mother there?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
13 years.
Get the hell out of here.
Police found the corpse on top of a pile of newspapers from 2009. It was later determined that it belonged to the man's mother who passed away in January 2010. And the man had apparently taken her home and mummified her body using chemicals after digging her up from the cemetery just 300 meters from the house.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
And he was charged with desecration of a corpse.
He had his mama in the house for 13 years. How did he know how to mummify a body?
Question.
Like, can you just Google that? Can you Google mummifying body?
Probably. Or you probably watching one of them shows you're talking about.
He
could be. Why you laughing? Anyway, according to local media, he was a loner, and his neighbors didn't even know his name. But they have to rebury his mother now. Whew, you definitely can't make that up.
That was a good story.
Sitting on the couch for 13 years.
Now, we'll come back to that because she's dead.
Just the whole process.
No, imagine being the brother.
Oh, walking in and
going over the house. I'm going to check on my brother. I got nothing to do today. It's Saturday. You walk in the house.
And seen this.
And your dead mama is sitting on the couch. What do you say? No. I want to hear what you say. What do you say?
I'm over here trying to picture it just being an actor, like if that was a scene that I had to do.
No, we're not talking about no damn scene.
I don't even know.
What would you say?
I'm saying truthfully, I would try to be in my truth in that, so I'm putting myself mentally there. I don't know what I would say. Because I imagine it smelling horrible. I imagine everything just being
no. Let me tell you
questionable about that whole room.
Ask me what no. Ask me what I would say. Come on, put it to me. Come on.
You walk into a room.
Walk into the house.
You walk into the house as a whole.
Yes.
You see your brother-in-law sitting on the couch.
Yes.
Next to him is your dead mother of 13 years.
What in the hell is wrong with you?
That's a very good question to start with. Yes.
We got to start there.
Yeah, because something's
and the next question is that mama?
Is that mama?
Wait, did you go dig up mama?
Like, I know that ain't mama sitting on me. I'm praying that you tell me that that's not Ma right there.
Please
And she
tell
probably
me.
just sitting straight up.
Please tell me that's not my
Hair
mama.
just.
That's not my dead mama you done dug up and
You probably had to contemplate whooping his ass.
contemplating. He is going to get his ass whooped. How could you not whoop his ass? You don't disturb.
Because you might be more concerned about what else he might be on if he willing to do that. You don't know what.
He done disturbed mama's rest.
She been up for 13 years longer than she's supposed to be.
I could not imagine walking in the house.
Seeing that situation. That's what I'm saying. I can't picture
I could even imagine that.
I think I'd be speechless.
Now, part of me, let me just admit, part of me is impressed that he knew how to mummify a body to last that long. I mean, this guy obviously should be a mortician. He's got some hidden skills that don't nobody know about.
I don't think nobody should know about him.
I mean,
The only reason we know about it is because of this. That's scary. And maybe, he was a mama's boy. He didn't grow up around nobody but his mama.
Maybe he was a mama's boy. Maybe. Clearly, he's got some attachment issues. You dig up your dead mama and mummify her body and keep her sitting on the couch dead for 13 years. Maybe it's not a part of any sentence. Yeah. Maybe he's a mama's boy.
Mama's boy is the floor, huh?
Listen. That's like the least of our problems. Maybe he's a mama's boy. Maybe he's psychotic, sociopath.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you love your mama a little too much.
A little too much.
I'm all for loving mama, but that's
different.
That's something else.
That's different.
I'm not sure if you love mama or you just like being around dead people.
Yeah, that's the
I'm telling you, it's psychotic.
And they say that it starts off, I was on Mindhunter, and I got to find out so much about serial killers and their psychology because of that show. And they say it starts at an early age, that signs of wanting to be around, whether it be dead animals, torturing things, of course, harming things at an early age, translates to behaviors by people as adults. And if you're not aware of them, these, results can be, I'm sure, along the lines of stuff like this, but in the case I'm talking about, obviously, serial killers and things like that. I don't know how any normal person that hasn't been around, this kind of stuff on the regular could stomach being around a mummified or dead body.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I think definitely mentally you have to be in a different place, because that's not normal for people to be able to, especially sitting in a room for 13. Anything sitting in a room for 13 years. My underwear could be sitting in a room for 13 years. I might not want to walk in that room. You know what I mean? A mummified whole body, dead body ain't been. When you mummify, do you have to empty a body's organs, by the way? Do you know that? You do? You
take out a lot of the vital organs.
He did all of that too?
Whoa. She had a funeral, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
I mean, so the funeral director.
Well, let's hope. Look,
The funeral director did that already.
Yeah, you're right. I'm over here like, wait, did he have to do all of that? No, so he just dug up her already.
He dug up
body
the corpse and mummified the corpse.
That's still just as bad, man.
This is McMillan and Morrow, people. This is what we talk about. Taking out organs and 13 years of mummified mama sitting on that. That's the strangest story.
It is. I told you it was
that might be the strangest story that you've ever given.
Brought to you. It's definitely up there. I know when I saw it.
We need more stories like that.
I had to read it more than once when I saw it.
So what's he being charged for?
Desecration of a corpse.
That's it?
That's what it says.
I guess he can't be charged for murder because she was already dead.
She's already dead. He ain't kill her.
Yeah, can he be charged for kidnapping because she was
Maybe.
dead?
I feel like it's illegal to dig up bodies anyway. Is that what desecration?
That's what desecration is.
So,
but he kidnapped
I guess he didn't
her.
get in trouble for mummifying her either.
Yeah, but he literally kidnapped her.
He did kidnap, but is it kidnapping if you're not alive?
I guess that's the challenge.
But I guess it wouldn't be against the law to desecrate. Well, you can't just be going out stealing corpses, no. So they need to make that a law. But but aside from that, is it really that? I mean, it's a crime.
No one does Nosey better than me. Photos. We found 378 photos.
He good when he do it, because I don't know how he found that.
These are years of snooping, okay? I know you nosy too. Head over to Nosey where you can watch full episodes of The Karamo Show and be nosy with me.
So, question, and this is similar to the topic, but it makes me wonder. How do you think one discovers that they want to be a mortician?
What?
Like people that are morticians, how do you think they discover that they want to do that? Because it's not a, some might deem, okay, you might be crazy. You want to be around dead bodies for all your life, but then it's actually a really important job that people have in our society. So
I don't. I went to college with someone who wanted to be a mortician.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was LeBron.
LeBron?
No, not LeBron.
Oh.
LeBron. LeBron.
I'm listening.
Anyway. And I never could figure out what was it about being around dead bodies that she sort of felt was her life calling.
And people are passionate, I feel like, that have those jobs.
I don't know.
Because what is it called when you do it with animals?
Taxidermy?
Yeah, taxidermy. People that do that usually have some kind of relation.
And they're usually weirdos.
I wasn't going to say that, but...
Did you do taxidermy?
I did not. I thought about it.
See?
Well, now that was a Jeffrey Dahmer trait, wasn't it? Isn't that what Jeffrey Dahmer did?
He did.
Yeah.
And then he ended up
eating people later in life.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
So
yikes.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
I'm not into dead things, dead people, dead animals,
interacting with them,
dead relationships, dead ways of thinking.
Deadbeat dad.
I'm not into dead. Death is not my thing. Okay.
Yeah.
If it's dead, I don't want nothing to do with it.
I don't even want to be near it.
I want life and that more abundantly.
No, I'm with you.
If it's dead, I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
I accept death for what it is, and go on over there.
Yeah.
And
Stay over there.
And let me just be clear about this. This might sound a little harsh, but I don't care. I love my mama, but I'm not digging her dead ass up.
I mean, it serves no purpose.
No, stay right over there. I love you. I'm not digging you up.
I hope not.
I
think there'd be some people highly concerned.
I don't understand people who
obsess over things that are dead and gone.
Yeah, I don't understand like how people can. It goes back to your question about morticians. I don't.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, how do you discover that though? You know, like, is it like the first time?
I don't think I've ever touched a dead body.
I haven't. I don't like it at all.
I don't think I've ever touched a dead body, and I've conducted funerals.
Yeah,
I've been at more funerals than you can possibly imagine.
I know. Yeah,
and I don't think I've ever like put my hand
physically touched the body.
I thought about it a couple of times, but I was like,
The only times that I have.
Aaron, you ever touched a dead body? It just seems like what did it feel like?
It feels like that feeling when you first walk into the room of a dead body. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Have you ever walked into a wake?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you know how the energy in a wake when you walk in there and it's quiet. And you can just almost feel that something in there is dead. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a feeling.
No, but what did it feel like to touch?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like that inside of your body when you touch a dead body. You can almost feel the deadness.
I mean, what did the actual body feel like?
Hard and cold.
Oh, okay.
It's not pleasant. And especially when it's somebody that you knew.
It's cold?
To me, yeah, it was cold.
Wow. You ever touched a dead body?
This isn't going to help my creep factor, but I've yes, down to like the bones and stuff like that. But in like India, like in India, where all the weird things happen, we
have a nut.
Wait,
what? Down to the bone.
Tell us more. Grab the mic. Grab the mic.
I want to hear what the hell you got to say.
I was doing a little documentary on like the rivers, and they bury a lot of bodies along the river there, and they cremate a lot of them. But sometimes, if if you don't have the money for cremation, they just leave the bodies. Like, so there was like skulls and random bodies at random spots. And, I was just, you see a human skull, you're interested about it. You definitely want to touch it and do things. So look,
Okay.
it was just,
Definitely want to touch it.
Never gonna touch it. You see a skull, the first thing you think of is touch it. No, that's not the first thing I think of when I see a skull. The hell? What you think about that, Aaron? This is your colleague. This is your technical colleague right here. Touching skulls in a river in India.
Man, that's
What in the world?
I was not expecting that at all. That's out there.
I'm gonna set up a session with you. Next time you come out here, we're gonna have a long talk.
Look,
Okay?
you're talking about what people need help that want to do that, and then you hear Tyler willingly grab his skull.
Grabbing skull.
Of course, you just want to just touch it.
Is that a femur bone?
to be fair, I was advised not to do that after having done it. They were like, you don't touch other people's, I'm like,
Yeah.
You didn't know.
You had to be told that. Don't touch other people's dead
You were
bodies.
thinking to yourself, when else am I going to be able to do this, huh?
Well, I didn't realize it was human bones at first. I just thought it was like an animal bone. Then I'm like,
It's
this
bone.
is a skull. Yeah.
It's not better to touch an animal bone, Tyler.
All right. I won't.
Like that's better. This is what I'm talking about, people.
Yo, what a world we live in.
I don't deal with dead nothing. Dead dogs, dead cats, dead people. I don't deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't have.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. Although I do have, like cremated things, but that's not the same.
I don't want your ashes.
Yeah, I still got my dog.
I'm gonna give your ashes to Juice. Like, take his ashes. That ain't coming in my
I'm
house.
at your crib.
I wind up spilling them.
Don't do that.
No, and I'm fine with people people when they die, they have all these things that they want.
Mm-hmm.
I could care less.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I ain't going.
Yeah.
Can't take it with you.
That was a good story.
Yeah, it took us a lot of plays. We was on that for a while too.
that was worth it. And then we went to Aaron.
Yeah, we
And then
let Tyler give his take.
took us to some river in India. And it got really weird over there. That was good.
It got real dark on that side of the room.
Real serial killerish.
And I live alone in the woods.
Man.
And he lived alone in the woods.
I got some pushback on the animal bones.
Yeah,
We eat food off of animal bones.
that is true though.
Chicken, ribs.
That is true. We do. And we tear some ribs and pick it up. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, first of all, let me correct your muddled thinking.
Look, hey, I know Haitians that eat the bone.
No, I got to deal with this.
Okay.
I got to deal with this. There is a fundamental difference between that which is food, cooked and prepared, and that which is dead and just strewn
Wherever.
out in the open. Now, technically, of course, Aaron, you are right. But practically, you are not right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Good, man.
I mean, but it's interesting how you can view food different, which is dead.
Yeah.
Very different from how you view something that's dead on the side of the
Naturally, we're
road.
all mammals though, too. And it's not normal for us to want to eat ourselves. Like other animals aren't eating other animals that are them. You know what I mean?
No.
You get what I'm saying? So it wouldn't be normal for us to, I feel like, enjoy the thought of eating another human. That's not normal. That's cannibalism.
Yeah, but we're not talking about eating other humans. He's talking
No.
about eating chicken and ribs.
I know, but I'm saying that's why it's different, I feel like, in comparison, because we can differentiate the two so
Between
much.
animals.
Because it's so much different than
But
us.
his point is, death is death.
So he like, forget it.
No, he's saying that a dead chicken and a dead cow is still died, and you're still touching death when you eat the chicken bone.
True.
And my point is, we don't process food the way we process
Something that's
just randomly
yeah,
dead.
it look a lot better when it's cooked on a grill, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot sexier.
All right.
But listen,
Yeah, we
we need more death stories. Okay? I'm sorry, people. I know
That's what gets him excited. Serial killers
This
and
was
death
good.
stories.
This was good.
This next story takes place in Florida again, and man,
Does it involve death?
no, it doesn't. It involves sex.
Woo! Okay.
So,
Two favorite.
a man who was in an open relationship with his girlfriend invited a third woman over to have sex with them. During the encounter, the girlfriend claimed that the other woman became very disrespectful toward the couple, mocking their genital size and color. So it sounds like a jab at both of them. I'm guessing she was on the, or not color, odor. Sorry, odor, not color.
I was like, color.
Imagine he just got a white ding-a-ling.
Yeah, I'm like, what color was his penis? What color was her cooch?
Odor, correction.
Okay.
So,
They come
being
in different colors?
They do, apparently.
But go ahead.
The couple asked the woman to leave the house, but she retreated to the couch and refused to move, right? So the girlfriend then grabbed the woman by the hair and threw her against the wall. Couple threw her outside. And the third woman has a totally different claim of the situation and says that she got into her car, reversed towards the door of the home where the couple was standing, and struck the girlfriend on the leg, and that the boyfriend then picked up a cinder block and threw it through the back window of the car. That's what he told police. And, he got charged with a felony for throwing a deadly missile, and the girlfriend was charged with battery for beating this girl up. But this all resulted from them having a threesome and this girl criticizing them on the odor and size of their genitals. Sensitive subject, especially, I'm sure, in the heat of the moment. But it sounds like it turned into pure chaos.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping you were going to give me a question.
I don't even have, the question is, who are these people?
I mean, if your stuff stinks, that's something you might want to know, right?
Hey, remember I said on the other episode, God forbid, you should always want to take care of that to make sure if anybody ends up down there in any situation, they never have to go through something that horrible. And you shouldn't have to either.
What are you talking about?
Just having bad odor and stuff like that down there. We talked about that on another episode. You don't remember? You don't be remembering half of the stuff we talk about.
Because you just jump in the middle of a thought.
I have ADHD, okay?
What?
Sometimes I just...
And people, when I
It's
look
like script writing. You get in late and get out early.
when I look confused, I'm genuinely confused. I'm just like, what?
Well, I'm just saying, that's like, terrible situation, worst case scenario. I feel like for people in sexual situations, you don't want somebody feeling like that.
Well, you should be smelling it yourself before you offer it to other people.
You should be aware of that. And people that aren't, I feel like, are damn live, first of all.
People that aren't what?
Aware of their odor. I think you should definitely be able to be aware of that. Because even if you start to say you working out or something.
Some people like odor. Some people like,
It's normal to have body odor, yeah.
No, I'm saying some people get turned on by the
just talking
the
about
funk.
But come on. In sexual situations, is that something that people really are thriving after? Like, yeah, go run a mile before you. No.
Some people are.
Yikes.
Some people are turned on by whatever but apparently
That's
this
vile.
person was not.
No, not at all. And the third woman wasn't arrested for the incident, but 2 days later, she got arrested for hitting a man with a glass face filled with gravel and rocks.
She's got other problems.
All these people is crazy.
But she's got other problems.
All of them is
She's
crazy.
got anger management problems.
She cussing people out because they got small ding-a-ling and the woman's smelling and balls probably smelling. And she's still out here just jacking people up for other stuff too. So she sounds like she's a reckless woman anyway. But it sounded like all of them ended up in jail within the next couple of days after this threesome.
Is there a moral you have for this?
It's not really a moral. I'm just wondering, what do you think about any of it? Because I don't know.
Well,
sounds like a typical Florida story, low key.
Listen, that's what you get for having an open relationship.
Do you think that is the only reason that this happened is because they involved
Well,
somebody?
if it wasn't open, the other woman wouldn't have been there. And the woman that he had obviously didn't have a problem with the size or the smell. So
Yeah, because they were teaming up on the other girl who was saying it, so she probably got defensive.
just
like him.
just be careful what you ask for, You let some people in and you will regret it.
Yeah, that's very true.
But also, wash. Yeah, I mean, there's wash. I mean, I don't know. Especially if you're inviting people in, you would think that you would want to make the best presentation of yourself.
Wash twice.
I don't know.
But there's people based off of their diets that I know can't help the body odor that they have. Like I grew up with kids in school that I know.
They just was thinking.
No lie. Doc, there was a kid, he went through elementary, middle school, all the way up to high school. He smelled the exact same since we were in elementary school. And it could not get off of him to the point where you couldn't even sit next to him in class. And I don't know if this was something that ended up getting to the administrator. I know the teachers had to be aware and involved in this at some point, but everybody knew. And I don't know if it was because of his diet. He was, I'm not sure what descent he was, but I'm not going to say his name. I almost said his name, but his name wasn't American. That's what I was going to say. His name's not American. And, it was like, I always had a sensitivity to the fact that I wonder if it's because of what he eats at home. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm like, how many times would you have to shower to get rid of such a scent? Like you can't, like some people just smell a certain way, I think too. And that would be if that was the situation that he was in where, you just
cursed again.
I know. But I met that. Like, I don't know. Have you ever met people that just naturally have always smelled since you've known them?
You said the word like 7 or 8 times
I know.
in that sentence.
I was trying to think of how I was going to say it. But have you ever been around anybody in your life that has had a pungent smell the entire time that you've known them? No, because you wouldn't be around them.
I've known there was a girl when I was in elementary school whose name I won't mention.
Yeah, it almost slipped out.
It did actually. Because I can see her face.
That's why I almost said mine, because I was like, whew.
And she was kind of dingy, dirty.
Was it like a must though, or was it like a natural?
Okay, I don't necessarily want to identify the specific nature of the smell.
Oh Lord. I have an idea then.
But she didn't smell good.
Yeah.
But the irony of it was we never bothered her about it.
Ever? Huh.
No. I don't remember anybody giving her a hard time about it. I don't remember anybody making her feel bad about it. We just didn't.
Yeah.
I think without even knowing how we knew, I think we all assumed she came from a tough situation.
So you guys didn't want to.
And we just didn't want to make it harder
or
for
judge her. Yeah.
People come from all types of devastating circumstances. And you just don't know what's going into making someone present themselves in the world the way that they do.
Yeah.
And I think before we judge and condemn people, we might want to consider, what is the story?
Yeah.
And how is this possible? Because that to me is, the test isn't whether or not someone who smells a certain way is sophisticated enough to be aware of it and change it. That's not the moral test. The test is whether or not the people around them can either, one, tell them the truth in a way that they can hear it, but two, have enough empathy to understand that there's a story behind this situation.
That you don't know. Yeah.
That you just are not in touch with. And the least you could do, as in the case of the person that I'm thinking about from elementary school, is to not make it harder for people.
Yeah.
It's just...
I was almost tempted a couple of weeks ago to tell a little boy about himself. I stopped myself, though. I was at the bowling alley. He was on the lane next to me.
You smell like death?
He was getting it. And I'm talking about
Just
to the point where I was asked. It was a guy that worked in the bowling alley came up. He said, "Y'all smell onions?" And I'm like,
you were like, no, it's
I was like, I looked at him. I said, "No, it's." And he looked at me. He said, "Really?" He said, "That's what that is." And I didn't even have to sell it to him. But then he looked over and he could, and it was like, yeah. And I almost said something to the little boy, but he was having such a good time. He was having a ball. I'm like, he probably 12, 13 years old. He was with his little friend. I'm like, I know his little friend got to smell it because he wasn't even bowling. He was just on his iPad. And I'm thinking to myself, this is affecting everybody around him and he don't know. I feel almost like I'm responsible to tell him. But what is he going to do? He ain't going to whip out some deodorant out his butt and be able to put it on his armpit. I was about to say the A word and you trying to get me from cussing, so I didn't say that.
okay.
But, you know, so...
You totally lost that.
I wasn't trying to lose my train of thought with that.
Totally lost it.
But so, you know, I wasn't
The point
expecting
is there was
pull
nothing
through
he could do about it
in that moment. So I'm like, do I say something? But I couldn't really remove myself from the situation. So I just had to deal with it, which also didn't feel fair because I'm paying to be there. I never had to deal with that before. And it was pretty.
Did you have any deodorant in the car?
Even if I did, I think he would have ruined my stick. It was like,
Well, you obviously would have
Yo.
you would have given it to
he would have had to keep it.
See, I would have said something.
I needed a spray. I think he needed a spray.
Hold on. I would have said something to him.
At his age.
Especially at it.
That's why I was wondering, though. I felt like I was responsible, but his mom was there, too. His mom ended up showing up, and I saw his mom standing there talking to him. She's asking him if he wants any more water or snacks. I'm like, you done sweat out all his water. You need some deodorant or some antiperspirant. You know what I mean? And I felt like it would be wrong for me, but his mom standing there and around to address him when I feel like that should be hers. You should know your kid stink and shouldn't have him out here like that.
That's true.
You feel me?
That's
so
true.
part of me was kind of conflicted because I'm like, do I overstep what feels like her parenting her child, or do I just let this go?
Let me ask some more questions. Was there a store around you?
I was in a bowling alley. I don't know.
I know, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess, but not like walking distance.
okay.
It was bad, Doc. I'm talking.
I would
about-
have said I would not. I would not allow a kid to leave that situation
not knowing.
without the information he needed to never be in that situation again.
And I can't believe we're still on this topic even. But how would you have worded it then if you would have said?
No, but this is more interesting than the story. I would have pulled him to the side and said to him in some kind of way.
That's what I want to know. I want to know how you would say.
Well, I mean, it depends on the temperament of the kid. It depends on.
He was a chubby white kid.
It depends on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I would have found a way to say to him, I know how old are you? 12, 13. You're coming into your little maturity, and there's certain things you need to know about what happens.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is you can't just leave the house. Okay? That's over.
Far over.
You can't just leave the house.
Yeah. He definitely had to.
Because you smell like a European right now. Y'all know the Europeans don't wear deodorant. Don't act like that. Don't act like that. They over here laughing. If you've ever been to Europe, especially on a flight in Europe, it's the funkiest experience in the world because Europeans don't wear deodorant. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say that because
They don't wear deodorant.
European friends. I can't. You ain't getting me in the dog house.
They don't wear
Europeans. I can't believe you said that.
They don't. I got evidence, man.
He done tripled down on it.
I got experiential evidence.
I feel you, but
I would have found a way to say to him, at this stage, you're in a different stage
of life now. Yeah.
You know, I would have made it about him accepting his manhood,
And
his
growing
young
up.
adulthood. Like, hey, little
Okay.
bro, you know, you there. So now that you're here, here's what you got to do.
You know,
Every time you leave the house, you got to make sure that you take care of this and that.
I think if
Left arm, right arm, every time.
If I had known him, I think I would have definitely had to. But because I had never seen this kid, because I had never spoken to him, I felt like that being the first and only conversation we have, I don't know. I couldn't bring myself to say something to the kid because I'm just expecting his mama to say something.
Well, his mother should have said something.
Yeah, when she came up, she was just standing there strong, and I was like, man, I wonder if she's used to it or what is going on here.
Maybe, you know, there's a lot of things that go into
back here.
I mean, because you don't know if this is a religious thing, if this is a cultural thing. Aren't there some religions that don't wear deodorant? No?
I'm sure some Orthodox religions.
Yeah, some Orthodox. I mean, it could be many things. But you're right. The mother, unless there's some sort of cultural religious thing, the mother should have been
Gotta say something.
She should have been like, Tommy.
It's time to go.
Tommy. I'm gonna speak in my mother's voice.
So I'm Tommy Bolin.
My mother would be like, Tommy, did your little ass leave the house without putting deodorant on?
Huh?
My mother would have been like, did you come to this bowling alley around all these white folks?
No, she would.
Around all
would have been like, boy, I know you did not leave it.
around all these damn white folks smelling like this? My mother would have shut me down.
The funniest part of the whole thing was the old man that worked there that walked up and he looked at me with a straight face, man. I was like, man, you smell onion? And I'm like, damn, that's how I know it's bad.
This little Tommy.
That's how I know it's bad. And I saw him afterwards and I had to tell him, he got the gist of what I was telling him in the moment, but when I saw him afterwards, he was like, my goodness. He goes, I haven't smelled that in so long. I didn't know what it was. I thought somebody really had some onion.
Little Tommy.
That's a tough one. I pray to
But
God.
okay, now that I know Tommy wasn't black, I would have said nothing. If Tommy was a black kid, I'm gonna say something. But a white kid, nah.
You feel like it's outside of your cultural boundary.
Mm-mm.
Want the best of Maury? Kevin, you are not. Want the best of the Steve Wilkos show? Would you take Dave back if he left Katie?
Want the best of Jerry Springer?
Just download Nosey on your mobile device or stream it on Pluto TV, Samsung TV, or the Roku channel. Until next time, America.
Aaron, you ever left the house and about in the middle of the day you went, Jesus?
Like I forgot to put deodorant on?
Yeah. That's happened to me.
happens.
That's happened to
I
me
got a
before.
story. I went to school, and before school we played, the basketball team practice before. I forgot to bring deodorant, and I had to ask a girl to wear girl deodorant. And I would have rather went without deodorant than wear girl deodorant ever again.
Why?
It works.
It was just so pungent, and I just couldn't breathe. I just couldn't breathe.
It was a very
It was too
simple one.
pungent.
Aaron, let me tell you something to your face.
Better than that.
Everybody was probably more excited about the fact that you had to order it on
Yeah.
than for you just to be
Than the
funky
smell.
for the rest of the day. But I've done that too because I played basketball in high school, and I forgot to bring whatever, and I was like,
Is that me?
I can't even lift my arm.
You know what I've done in this situation when it's happened is I've gone to the bathroom wherever I'm at and I get the soap from whatever dispensary they got and I'll put that right under there and hold me over until I get to some deodorant. I ain't putting no water on it. I need the smell as strong and not no type of diluted. And that was the only way that I've, found a quick solution in those situations. I wanted to tell that little boy, you need to go wash up in the bathroom because it wasn't just his armpits at that point. Everything smelled like it was like you could almost see it coming off of him. It was so bad.
Yeah, no. These little
Like a cartoon.
These little white kids alone. You let his mama do that.
And she didn't correct him, and that frustrated me because we had to sit there and nap for like an hour and a half. But
All right.
this next story, man, it's about dad jokes.
God.
Yeah, so
We go
According
from
to Fox
two
5.
halfway decent stories.
it's New York, okay?
this.
They're saying that dad jokes could be helping kids grow into healthy adults. That's what experts are saying these days. So because you used to be Judge Dad, I felt like this was, Do you know any good dad jokes?
No,
None.
I don't know any dad jokes.
What? They're notoriously corny, but I feel like you probably like them. Then again, corny might
Trying to
piss
say
you
I'm
off.
corny?
No, I just feel like you get
Watch
a
it,
tickle out.
watch it, Rich.
I'm not saying that because some of them are wise in nature. That's why they're corny, but they're wise in nature. Like,
I don't know any dad jokes.
well, whatever. I'm gonna give you a couple of them. See if you can get them. What does a baby computer call his father?
What?
Data. Like data. Don't like that one. After an unsuccessful harvest, why did the farmer decide to try a career in music?
Why?
Because he had a ton of sick beats. Okay. I only seem to get sick on weekdays. I must have a weakened immune system, right? Killing me, Doc. All right. We got two more. Let's see how long you can keep it straight.
Like,
My friend was showing me his tool shed and pointed to a ladder. That's my step ladder, he said. I never knew my real ladder. I don't know what joke that is. Tyler clearly wrote that one. That is a terrible one.
The dead
we
body,
might have to
the
cut
dead
that
body
one.
catcher, the serial killer right here.
So, one last one. That's a question. Why is it so cheap to throw a party at a haunted house?
Why?
Because the ghosts bring all the booze. Get it? Booze. You just don't have no sense of humor.
I can't believe you just did that on television.
I did. He made me do it.
What did I tell you and Aaron
Here we
today?
go.
I tell y'all all the time, stop not telling
Stop
people
listening
no.
to these white folks.
Tell them no. I am not doing that.
If you don't quit listening to these damn white folks, Rich, and quit reading whatever they tell you to read.
You just can you imagine me reading that on television?
I wish you had to because this would be hilarious.
I'm not reading that.
You know what we need to do one day?
Wow, you talking with your mouth full of water?
You just made me have a moment. We need to have you read these stories one day first so I can see how you would articulate some of these stories and work with what I got. Because the world is a crazy place and it's hard to put some of this stuff into words that are going to be presentable to somebody as intelligent and wise as yourself without getting any backlash. So
But
I take the heat.
Those jokes were awful.
They were, I mean, one of them wasn't bad.
Those jokes were awful.
I like the haunted house one was probably the best one.
I don't even know what the story is.
The story is about how dad jokes could be helping kids become healthier adults, where they actually have a sense of humor. And it says a humor researcher, which is a real job, by the way. A humor researcher and lab manager in the UK published an article that found embarrassing your kids a little can help them grow into healthy adults.
Well, I embarrass my sons all the time.
Intentionally.
I mean,
Is that something that parents do? Because I feel like my mama used to do that.
well, I call my sons Pumpkin. I do. I call both of them Pumpkin. And I'll do it in front of like anybody.
Is it to teach them how to deal with awkward moments in public?
I'm glad you asked. No. No, actually, the reason I do it is actually a very substantive reason.
What is it?
So when you have kids, as one day I assume you will, you will discover that as much as you love your children, they disappoint you. As much as you embrace your children, they hurt you because they're human like everybody else.
True.
And I decided when my sons were very young that I would have a way always to remind me that my relationship with them was unlike anything else on the planet. That I could never talk to them or treat them the way I treat other people or anybody else. They had a very unique place in my heart.
I love that.
And so Pumpkin immediately reminds me, I don't care what they do. I don't care what they don't do.
They steal your pumpkin.
They are special. And you have to treat them, talk to them, deal with them at the level of their specialness. And so I encode it in the language. The language immediately reminds me, they'll do something and they've done a lot.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, pumpkin.
That's your way of just
you still
digesting it.
You still my pumpkin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important. I think it's important that we have built into the language of our relationships. For example, there was a couple I used to counsel, and they were married and they had a child, and the child lived for a while, and they bought the child this teddy bear, and then the child died. And they were getting into it, arguing. So I said to the couple, I said, where's the teddy bear? You still have the teddy bear? And they said, yes. I said, here's what I want you to do. Whenever the two of you are arguing and it's getting to be too much and you're crossing the line, go get the teddy bear. And it will immediately remind the other person, stop.
Yeah.
It's going too far.
Mm-hmm.
And it saved their marriage.
Wow.
Because sometimes you need something that reminds you,
Yeah.
I can't do this to this person.
Mm-hmm.
I can't treat them this way. Now, I can treat other people however I treat them, but not them.
And I could piggyback off of that and say, we need to do that for ourselves just as much. A lot of people don't give themselves that grace either. Of, I'm not going to speak to myself this way. I'm not going to allow myself to be this way. I'm not going to treat myself the same way that I treat other people. You know what I mean? And yeah, hearing that special bond between a parent and child, I can understand from a different perspective of being a son myself, some of the things that my mom did in the name of that same love.
Yeah.
And why she does it the way that she does. She calls me her sunshine. She literally, that's her version of pumpkin, but she spells it S-O-N. So it's like I'm actually her sunshine. And she, has given me these names and things over the years and things that she's done that I feel like serve the principle and theme that she's always taught me, that no matter what I do, she's always going to love me because of her son.
And that's also, I can't speak for your mom, but I would assume in similar fashion, it's also how she reminds herself
Exactly. And that's
to
what I'm
pull
looking at
back.
now.
To not give in to the disappointment or the frustration or the anger or whatever it is.
Not break my neck when she wants to.
or to not say no.
Yeah.
Because your mom's a human being, and I know in my case sometimes you're going to be like no, and then you got to be reminded of the fact
this is my responsibility.
no, because responsibility puts the onus on her.
Yeah.
No, this is my choice. I choose. I choose to say yes. I don't have to.
That's true.
I choose to be open and giving and forgiving and show grace and mercy. And I just think more relationships need reminders. They need markers that remind them of the significance of the other person.
Yeah, we spoke about this in another episode about reminding ourselves of why we met somebody, why it's so important to go to the root, because then you'll remind yourself of why this person was even in your life and important to you in the first place whenever it does go left. A lot of times we don't even realize things are left or not right because we're not even focused on, why we're in the situation we're in the first place with this person. We wouldn't even be here if there wasn't a reason keeping us here in the first place. And yeah, if we spend more time thinking about what those things are.
So I went to Chicago. I don't know how much time we got left, but I went to Chicago. We're done?
Yeah.
When you can.
Okay.
We can cut some of the stuff.
Stop interrupting me.
This is good.
So look, you dead body toucher. I'm just playing. I went to Chicago, and my oldest son, Kovatis, pulled up, and he's married, so he gets out the car with his wife, and one of his sons was with him, and I go, pumpkin, and his wife, smiled.
Yeah.
And so later on, when we went upstairs to the room, she says to me, it's always like refreshing and strange and to hear you call him that because nobody
else is.
Nobody talks to him. You know what I'm saying?
Not like that.
She's like, of course we have ours, but we're married.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, no, it is the uniqueness of the relationship. And that's what makes it special. I said, can you imagine anybody else trying to call him that?
Right.
He would have a fit.
Yeah.
He would be in here breaking necks, But that is the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's just it's a bond between.
yeah,
you two.
I'll shut up after this. But put your love in the language you use for the people who you claim to be close to. Put it in the language.
Yeah, we all have it with different people in different ways. Your best friend, you're not going to obviously speak to the same way, but you have things that are reminders of that relationship and how special it is that you guys may say inside jokes. That's why they exist, things of that nature. But to, add to what you're saying, like, I think we definitely should focus on putting that love into language and being able to remind people how much they actually mean to us too. Because if we don't do things like that, there's a very gray area where people can forget how much you actually mean to them and how much they mean to you, and vice versa. And I think that gets lost in translation a lot throughout the hardships of life too, and just having those reminders sometimes is enough to get you through. It really is. Just knowing that somebody care about you, knowing that you're not alone. Yeah, the little things like that. So yeah, I hope y'all taking that with y'all. This was a good episode. We talked about a lot. We got real off topic today, but I feel like we reeled it back in and we got some real strong points for our people to take. So we appreciate y'all, as always, for sticking with us through this. You got any final thoughts?
Did a whole soliloquy there. You heard
A little
that?
bit.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Though. Yeah.
And I have a nickname for him, by the way. I won't tell y'all what it is, but he knows what it is.
Oh, yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
See, I call him something.
Yeah.
Just to remind me to be nice.
To pick up the phone.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in, people. We'll see you next time. Here at McMillan and Morrow. Don't touch any dead bodies. Don't mummify anybody. And remember to love. See you next time.
See you next week.